This is Palo Santo, by the way. It is this right here. It's a wood that you can light, and it is said to bring in positive energy. So I decided to light that. It does smell actually really good. But in this video, I wanted to cover the topic of getting sucked into unconsciousness. So the way I could describe this is essentially it's whenever you get sucked into something that you feel as if you have no control over, and it just happens automatically by default. So this could be like you acting out a habitual pattern, a habitual thing. Like, for example, let's say you're addicted to going to McDonald's every single night before you go to sleep. This was me, definitely last year before that. I was addicted to fast food. I always had to get fast food, particularly before I go to sleep. So that's just me getting sucked into unconsciousness. I would simply get in my car, drive to McDonald's, and get something to eat almost every single night. And the two main areas in my life where I noticed that I get sucked into unconsciousness is food and women. These are the top two ones that I've noticed within myself, where I kind of just get boom, like it just has a hold on me. It could just suck me right into it. And I wanted to be transparent, let you guys know about where I deal with it, talk about it, and maybe you can get some insightful things so you can get some self-awareness about yourself and notice where in your life do you get sucked into unconsciousness. So here's what ChatGPT says what unconsciousness is. This refers to living or acting without self-awareness. In this state, you might react to life on autopilot, driven by habits, fears, or societal conditioning. Be unaware of your deeper emotions, desires, or motivations. Avoid confronting uncomfortable truths or exploring your true potential. It often feels like drifting through life without a clear sense of purpose or control. And another huge area that a lot of people get sucked into unconsciousness is their triggers. And everyone gets triggered in life, okay? Whether you're in a relationship, something happens, something she says or does triggers you, or a family member triggers you, or you're on the road and someone cuts you off, you get triggered. Being triggered is simply just that feeling that you feel that just comes up automatically without you thinking about it. You experience anger, or you experience sadness, or you experience frustration, whatever it is, that is you getting sucked into unconsciousness. And people unfortunately don't catch themselves. They simply get triggered and they act on whatever it is that they're getting sucked into. So like, let's say for example, it's something that happened within my life, so I'm just going to use it. It's a really extreme example of getting really sucked into unconsciousness. So I was friends with this guy. I ended up going out one night without him. I ended up meeting a girl. I didn't get her contact info or anything, but she found me the day later. She followed me on Instagram. We started talking. Long story short, I went over to her place. You know, things were about to get hot and heavy. But then we ended up talking about him. And she was like, oh, that's actually my ex. And I was like, oh, like that's my boy. Like I can't do anything now. But something did actually happen that night. And that could be me getting sucked into unconsciousness. Actually, that was me getting sucked into unconsciousness. Like I said before, food and women are one of the two things where I really get like just drawn into. So in this situation, I ended up hooking up with her. And this was, as I said, me getting sucked into unconsciousness. I knew that this was his ex, but I still went forward with it, right? Because I felt as if I couldn't control myself. It was just a pattern that I was acting on that I've done with woman after woman. That's an example of me getting sucked into unconsciousness in that situation. Now, I FaceTimed him literally that night and told him what happened, because that's just who I am. I always tell the truth. Even if I end up doing something that is not the best thing to do, I always admit to it at the end of the day, and I always tell the person what happened. I'm not the type of person who can lie and just hold things down or stuff like that. So I told him. He got pretty angry, and he pretty much got to a point where he was threatening me. He didn't say it, but he made it clear. I can read with what he was saying. Whenever he saw me, he was gonna jump me, beat me up. Who knows, right? So me knowing this, I know that he knows the spots that I go to, so I simply just didn't go to those spots that I usually went out to, because I don't know if he had anything on him. I don't know if he had guys with him that were gonna jump me. So I just avoided going to those places where he knew that I would be. And sooner or later, he ended up finding his ex instead of me. So he ended up physically abusing her, black eye, all that stuff. That's an example of him getting sucked into unconsciousness as well. He found out what happened. He let that anger come up within him. Well, it came up just automatically, right? But he made the mistake, I guess you could call it, of getting really drawn into it and letting that anger build and build and build and build and get to a point to where he was willing to physically abuse a woman, right? Everyone does this. This isn't just like oh, I'm bad, or oh, he's bad. Everyone does this, okay? So anyone in the comments who's gonna be like, oh dude, no, like judging, you can judge all you want, okay? I come from love. I understand that judgments is really just due to that person is also suffering, and they're putting their own projections onto me. It's like this thing of, oh, if I were you, I wouldn't do that. But the funny thing is, all judgment is self-judgment at the end of the day. And any negative feelings you feel towards another, guess who's feeling those feelings? You're feeling those feelings, not the person that you're actually judging or that you have a grudge against. So keep that in mind. That's why forgiveness is for you. It's not even necessarily for the other person. It's just so that you don't have those negative, low vibration energies within you. So just be honest with yourself. In what areas of your life, and what is the most recent situations that you can think of where you really just get sucked into unconsciousness, right? Where it's something where you shouldn't do, right? Like, we can all agree that it's not okay to do certain things, or that you probably shouldn't do certain things, even though there is no should or should nots. But at the end of the day, we all know what is at a higher frequency than a lower frequency. For example, giving out money or walking in nature or doing good deeds is better than beating someone up, flipping someone off, etc. Like, we all know at the end of the day things that are of high frequency versus things that are of low frequency. And something I wanted to clarify, you know how I said that food is one of the ways that I get drawn into unconsciousness? So for you guys that don't understand what I mean by that, is whenever I have food in front of me, I eat it extremely fast. Like, I kind of just like go do-do-do-do-do-do, and then I kind of just like wake up after, as if I was in a dream or like in a very unconscious state while I was eating, because in my opinion, I was really just drawn into it. This is an epiphany that I had within like the past week or so, because something that happened to me, because I do believe your body talks to you, and something that was happening for me within my body is every time I would swallow food or drink food, I would have a sharp pain right here, like in my heart area. And I believe it was called GERD. It was due to acid reflux. I could be wrong, but that's what I believed it to be. And yeah, it was just this annoying, constant pain. Every time I ate food or drank water, it would just be this sharp pain right here, like, or right in my back area, just right here in the middle of my chest. And it lasted for a good week to week and a half. And it's finally gone. I don't feel that anymore when I eat or drink food. But I do believe that was my body talking to me and letting me know, like, yo, you go unconscious when you eat food. Like, you don't actually enjoy the food, take your time to eat it. Like, I would just shove down this food and go into this unconscious state. Then I would kind of just like wake up after, right? So now I'm practicing being more conscious when I eat and taking my time and enjoying it more. So if you're kind of wondering how to not get sucked into unconsciousness, I mean, there's a few different things you could do. But for example, let's say triggers. Let's say you get triggered, you get angry, or you just feel this really intense emotion, right? A lot of people make the mistake of blaming the person. Oh, they made me feel this way. It's their fault. And then that's how you lead to, violence, altercations like that, where people take out their anger on that person because they believe that that person is the cause of how they feel, which is simply not true. Everything is usually due to yourself. It always begins and ends with you when it comes to everything, okay? So you probably have subconscious limiting beliefs, shadow aspects of yourself, which is things of yourself that you have repressed, suppressed, denied about yourself, so you don't want to look at them. So a quick tip for you is simply whenever you feel triggered and you feel that anger or that frustration or whatever it may be, is take the time to stop whatever you're doing and then allow your breath to do some of that healing. You're bringing this conscious awareness now into this, what you're feeling, instead of just allowing whatever you're feeling to take over you and allow you to do something that you probably shouldn't do. Okay? So just taking deep breaths, right? In through the nose or in through the mouth, very, very deep into your belly, and kind of just feel it throughout your whole body. Feel your whole body. And you must understand that anything that does trigger you is your problem. You have some type of limiting belief, some type of stored trauma, or whatever it may be that is making you feel this way. Do not blame someone else and put the blame on them for how you're feeling, because what is that? That is literally stepping out of power. As you know, my brand is now Step into Power. Stepping into power is realizing that you can take back your power instead of giving it to other people. Like, oh, I don't want to, let's say for example, you want to make videos like this. Oh, I want to make videos, but I'm scared of what people will say about me. That is you giving your power away. Stepping into power is taking your power back and realizing, no, people can say whatever they want. People can make fun of me. People can call me names. People can do whatever they want. But I will make videos because I am in power. It does not matter what happens in my external reality if I'm doing something that I know is true to myself. It simply does not matter what happens in my external reality because I'm coming from an inspired, authentic, truthful place. And as you guys know, I'm reading this book right now, Power versus Force. Great book. Covers a lot of concepts and a lot of very, very powerful things within this. And that's essentially what's in that book is essentially what my whole brand is about and why I made the shift from step into fear to step into power. Another thing you guys can start to do is practice meditation. Start learning how to become present to the moment. Simply observe your thoughts, observe your emotions without any judgment. And this is a good place to start off with, all right? If you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.